Welcome back. Coma Cadets up next for drivers from 8 years of age, driving the Coma Cadet engine, which has been around for a long time. And if there's anybody in the sport that knows about these engines, it's this man alongside me. It's John Davis from Force Motorsport. John, you've been around the sport a long time. Just explain to the viewers how long you've been around tuning these engines.
Right, I've been around tuning these little engines since 1991, which is the best part of 22 years now. I came into it, that was the year Jensen Button won the Super 1 British Championship in the class, although the class has actually been going since 1987, when a young lady called Claire Bogan won it. I had my first major success with them in 1996 when Lewis Hamilton won the championship with us, and in the last 18 years we've won the championship with these little engines 11 times. They've been a good workhorse for karting.
And I will say, I will give this man a bit of support. I remember when I came into the sport, knew absolutely nothing. I would spend hours on the phone to you sometimes. I remember once spending 90 minutes on the phone to you. He was giving me a lot of free advice. I remember putting the phone down thinking, I don't know how this guy makes any money, because he just spends all the time giving me free advice. But if you're coming into the sport, then get in touch with this guy if you're going to race the Coma Cadet class. He's full of useful information. I remember you telling me about Three Sisters and saying, well, it was our first race and my lad, I think, had been lapped as a novice. You explained to me that the drivers didn't brake. He said, well, you know, they don't brake at Wigan. And I remember putting the phone down thinking, that's got to be rubbish. But you were right, it wasn't rubbish, you're absolutely right. Now, for viewers watching that aren't in karting, you may occasionally see the drivers in this class putting their hand down towards the engine. John, I know when I tried to explain this to my father in America, he said to me, what are they doing? That can't be right. Just explain. These karts will do around 55 to 60 miles an hour.
Correct, yes.
8-9-year-old kids, and they're putting their hand down towards the engine, and just explain what they're doing for the viewers.
Well, they have an awful lot to think about. They have to alter the jets as they go to keep the engine on top performance. If they need a bit more performance at the end of the straight, they will turn the jet in a little bit. If they need a bit at the other end of the corners, they'll richen that one a little bit. If the engine gets too hot, they'll open this one out to give the engine more fuel at the bottom end and keep the engine cool. They have a lot more to do than just driving. Just like Formula 1 drivers do, they've an awful lot to think about on the karts.
Yeah, Formula 1 drivers adjusting things on the steering wheels, but they're not having to adjust the carburettor as they go, are they?
Absolutely. Well, these lads have got to look at the steering wheel for the information on here, as well as doing this. And the top drivers are very, very talented and very aware of what's going on with the engineering as well as the driving.
And how would they know that? I mean, I know from being in the sport, but for the viewers not in karting, how would they know what the engine is doing?
There's two ways. One is on the screen on this little dashboard here. This shows the engine temperature, and if the engine's getting too hot, they know to give it more fuel on the low jet on the carburettor. Equally, if they're losing 2 or 3 lengths at the end of the straight, they know they have to lean the high jet off to pull in the engine with a few more top end revs.
So we're talking about drivers from 8 years of age, 8-9-year-olds, having to not only drive at 55 to 60 miles an hour, 2 inches off the ground. That'll feel like 120 miles an hour to them. They're also having to adjust the carburettor as they go. How impressive is that?
That's way too clever for me. I can only just about work out the left and right pedals. Oliver York and Tom Wood on the front row of the grid. These are the masters of the game, of course. Alex McDade and Matthew Graham on row 2. Johnny Edgar in the O plate and Sean Butcher in the 18 are on row 3 with Lewis Thompson and Alex Quinn. Plenty of fast movers through the grid. Keep an eye on Sam Faulkner and William Petit in the 11 position as well. Here we go. Sweeping through to club corner for the first time, the right-hander, and everybody's through cleanly. That's what we want to see. Up they go down the Dragon Straight and up towards turn 2. A fast right-hander, and out in front it looks to be, once again, Fusion Motorsport. They certainly know how to make a good class of driver. Their men right at the sharp end of the grid. A little bit of jostling for position as well. A little bit of contact there, but out in front it is still Oliver York. And tucking in behind, we have the 29. Alex McDade up a place from the grid then behind is the O plate. Johnny Edgar up 2 places. Tom Wood in the number 9 down 2 places. Quite a mixed bag at the start then.
Through Compression Complex for the first time. It is York that leads it from McDade there in second place on the 29. The O plate Johnny Edgar up from 5th to 3rd. Tom Wood down from 2nd to 4th, so he's dropped 2. Edgar up a couple. And in behind, the S9 card of Lewis Thompson. See the 7 card of Alex Quinn with plenty of work to do to get back to the leading 3. He's down in 7th place currently as they come up into the spoon for the second time. Still York then from McDade and Edgar. Looks like Alex Quinn made up a place. He has. He's through to 6th place. As you can see him just coming down the hill. Quinn is the championship leader coming into this round. Oliver York, though, will be doing his championship chances no harm whatsoever. Won the earlier final, but we're looking to take this one down as well. So York still out front. McDade and Edgar in close attendance as they drop down through Devil's Elbow through the left-hander and out through Paddock across the start-finish line one more time.
I'll tell you what, I'm keen to see how Johnny Edgar can do in this race. He's definitely been my driver of the season so far. Considering how young he is, his season has suddenly taken a much-needed shot in the arm, becoming the British Open champion very recently, of course, at Rowra. Now his season really has kick-started. He's showing his flair here a little deeper into the race, and we can see that Johnny Edgar has actually moved his way to 2nd place now, behind the number 5 of Oliver York. So, an inter-team battle on the way then. Alex McDade there in 3rd position. And behind them, 4th is Wood and 5th is Thompson. So a brilliant 5-way scrap developing here at Glenagorse Park. Brilliant stuff at the front of the field. York desperately trying to hang on from the O-plate. McDade is still there in 3rd position, pushing very hard indeed. Now Johnny Edgar's lining up a move into the right hand of the first corner. And he's got a good run potentially building here as they make their way up the straight. Through turn 2, he's not going to make the move here, I don't think, but he might well try into turn 3, the spoon curve. Let's have a look. He's got to be careful, though, because McDade is up the inside. McDade trying to go through to 2nd place, side by side. Edgar is off on the grass there. He manages to rejoin, just only losing a place there. He's losing one more, though. Up the inside there goes Wood. Thompson's through as well. Edgar losing places, hand over fist. Down to 5th position he goes, just in front of Alex Quinn in the number 7 in 6th position. So Johnny Edgar, well, that's definitely hampered his chances. He's got to fight very hard now to make his way back up. But for this man, Oliver York, it's plain sailing at the front of the grid for the moment.
Edgar caught out at the top of the hill, running across the grass. He's lost a good few places. There he is, just in front of Alex Quinn, Matthew Graham on the 70 kart. And they are the leading 7 drivers, and they are well clear of the rest. It's still Oliver York out front, but he's under severe pressure now. Edgar and others making their way past S9 Lewis Thompson. Edgar goes with him, Quinn goes with Edgar, and it drops the 9 kart Tom Wood down from 3rd to 6th place as he came out of the spoon. Matthew Graham there still in 7th as he come up into the compression complex of 3 right-handers. That's the first one, that's the second one. Here's the 3rd right-hander, and then compression corner, the hairpin into Devil's Elbow, drops away there. That's the rib cruncher. It's still York with the 29 kart McDade right in behind. Edgar's getting back into the battle. The way these drivers are swapping positions, though, it's anybody's at the moment.
Well, Oliver York leading the way from McDade at the present moment, a little deeper into the race, and you can actually see that York is down in 4th place now because Edgar has hit the front, just in front of McDade. I don't think that's going to last long. Here's Quinn behind him. McDade and Quinn both get past Johnny Edgar at Spoon Curve, and this is really going to sort things out. We've got a nice wheel-to-wheel scrap developing. Quinn up the inside of McDade, lovely move, and Edgar goes through with him. Brilliant stuff. So Quinn and Edgar through into 1st and 2nd. McDade is there in 3rd. 4th position now. Well, that's Oliver York, who was leading for so long, and that's just absolute concrete proof. It's never over until the finish line, and these guys will be swapping places all the way to the finish line. It could be any one of these 7 men that take the flag. Up the inside, oh, up and over the curbs. That was a bit of a wild move there from York, and that's allowed the S9 of Lewis Thompson through into 3rd position. Graham's now coming down the straight on McDade. Fantastic scrapping, and it's allowed these two a little deeper into the race to build quite a nice advantage over the rest. You can see they're miles in front, and it's now a battle between these two. Alex Quinn, the championship leader, and the boy wonder, Johnny Edgar in the O-plate, and they're coming up to the final lap, and it's going to be mano a mano between these two as to who is going to take the victory, and both these drivers very capable. Edgar, the chaser, Quinn, the defender, as they run down the straight, round the outside, Edgar making his move already, trying to put Quinn offline, but Quinn is defending valiantly on the inside. That's very wise manoeuvres there from Alex Quinn. He's got Johnny Edgar swarming all over the back of him, and it's going to be very close out of that corner, side by side into the left-hander, side by side nearly at Carousel, and Edgar just lining Quinn up for the manoeuvre. Where is he? Is he on my left or is he on my right? He's looking everywhere. Through the triple right, up the inside, here comes Edgar, side by side. A couple of wheels on the grass there, almost all four wheels I think actually on the grass, and that's allowed Johnny Edgar to get through. I don't think that was a malicious manoeuvre, that was plain sailing, clean racing move. There just wasn't enough room for two karts to go through, and Edgar takes the flag. Brilliant scrap for third position behind, but it's little Johnny Edgar who takes the victory again. What a season he's having.
I went up the inside of Alex through the last corner, but it sort of failed and hit the curb and bounced wide, and then Alex and Johnny got a bit of a gap, and then I just kept pushing and pushing on, and managed to pick up third, and that's good championship points. And I'd like to say a big thanks to Ogden Motorsport, Ogden Race Engines, my dad, my mum, my brother and my little sister, and everyone at Fusion Motorsport and everyone else who has helped me out through this weekend.
Cracking race there, Alex. Talk us through the last few corners.
Yeah, well, me and Johnny got a massive gap, I don't really know how, and then onto the last lap I was leading, got all the way round, and then the corner after the carousel I just ran a bit wide and Johnny got through, but it was an amazing race and well done to Johnny. And I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Watson Fuels, North Coast Commercials and Dan Hart at Fusion Motorsport for making, just helping me this weekend. So, and also happy Father's Day to my dad.
Cracking race there. Talk us through the last three corners.
Well, Alex defended one up there, and I managed to get the inside for the next corner, and then Alex got on the grass a little bit, and then I managed to get a little bit of a gap, and I didn't have to defend for the last corner.
So Oliver York coming a cropper in the same fashion as Kian Jewis did earlier on, those curbs catching them out again. Top three in the championship, as you were. Johnny Edgar is up to fourth past Lewis Thompson, and Alex McDade in at the top six after an impressive performance here at GYG Park. And next up, folks, it's the Minimax. If you thought the action was over, you're definitely wrong. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.